and it was well known that they were dealing with a very powerful rival, but they weren't counting on the international reactions. They were trying to win back these breakaway regions. Russia's reaction was exaggerated, of course, but they were in a difficult situation. The pressure from the United States was not to protect democracy, but was to achieve certain strategic aims, seeing that Georgia has this strategic position in the region. The Georgians should be very wary of this support from the US. Think about 1946, when the US gave support for that region, with the unfortunate outcome that we know about, which led to the disastrous consequences. A fact-finding commission, therefore, was sent to the region and has found that the international law has not been respected in this region.
Thank you. We will now move to the Catch the Eye part of the debate. Mr. Landsberg is first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Madam Heidi Tagliavini, head of the mission, wrote in her separate summary for a press. It must be said that the conflict of 2008 was predictable and preventable, but the international community looked the other way, as if it had given up not only on solving the underlying conflict, but also on upholding an increasingly fragile ceasefire. Unquote. To uphold an increasing uncertainty and armed violence with openly approaching tragic outcome, who preferred it? Madam Tagliavini noticed there are three legal personalities as defining the indifferent international community: United Nations, the OSCE and European Union. Thus we, European Parliament, were there among the three great hypocrites who saw, knew and did not want to prevent the recent bloody stage of that 17 years war. Other main conclusions of the mission remain of global importance as well. They are: no more peacekeepers from a neighboring country, as they usually defend particular raison d'etat, but not the peace. The impact of a great power's coercive politics and diplomacy against a small and unsubordinated neighbor is to be considered, not to say about eventual loss of important parts of territory through creeping annexation. There are no winners in this conflict. When among the big losers is the international community, the political culture of cooperativeness has suffered. Two more quotations: established principles of international law, such as respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of states, were ignored. Falling back from civilized standards of political interaction in Europe is a consequence.
Burgess, I'm sorry, 2 minutes is more than enough. I'm sorry. Mr. Ketsin, and I would ask you to respect the time because there are many that wish to speak.
Madam Chair, Mr. Commissioner, I was last in Tbilisi in September last year, and the question of territorial integrity and stability of Georgia has a strong impact on the stability of the region at large, which unfortunately is very stable in its instability. There is not just one truth, there are several truths. And when the main decision makers lose nerve, the consequences are unpredictable and far-reaching. The direct and collateral damage also is extensive, and interference of great powers and advocating one or the other side is not the way to success. Caucasus is a complex area, and the Balkans, and just as the Balkans, it has more history it can digest or deal with. Simplifications and xenophobia can